What's going on, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Monday, January 8th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Hope you guys had a great weekend. So much Pluto, Scorpio, Mars energy over the weekend, and it's definitely, I'm starting to feel this Pluto and Capricorn get to this peak of the mountain that Pluto has been climbing since 2008. And on a personal level, I'm definitely starting to see all the foundations that have been tested and had to, collapse and fall down and destroy themselves and rebuild themselves, and on a physical level and a non-physical level, because that's what the astrology reflects is the non-physical and the physical, and within and without, and as above so below. So it's the physical structures and how that has been shifting and changing and destroying and rebuilding is also happening within us. And I'm definitely starting to feel the positive side of that. And there was so much positive insights and uprisings of information and things that so you haven't seen clearly yet. You haven't been too sure about. It's like I definitely got a lot of valid information and being willing to take on the difficult stuff and be confident within that. Because it's like when we have that willpower and we're willing to take on difficult things, it's like that's when we gain the momentum to keep taking on more difficult things to evolve and grow. Because that's how we really survive on a physical level in the 3D, is having the will to take on challenges that are difficult. And the more challenges that are difficult that we take on, the easier they become. And when those things become easy, it's like we're ready for the next difficult set of situations. And we're in Capricorn season. Mars is in Capricorn. Pluto's still here. It's like that's what Capricorn is all about, is being willing to take on a difficult task and push forward as much as possible, as hard as you can, with no complaints. Capricorn doesn't complain. It says, I will do it and I will get it done, and I will do it at the highest level. And we will succeed, and we're going to get to the top. That's what Capricorn does. It gets to the top as long as you're willing to take on the difficult shit. And coming into Monday, it's like this really super badass sextile from Mars now entering into the 3rd degree of Capricorn, making this amazing Earth and water sextile to Saturn. So with Mars being in Capricorn, Saturn rules Capricorn. Saturn in Pisces, it's like this is, some very strong, concrete support that Saturn is getting here. And it's like, we're ready to really kick off this new year. And if you haven't really got your new year started, your new year, new me started, this is the moment where you're getting this opportunity to really lay the concrete and the foundation for the rest of the year. This is one of those moments. We're not going to get a lot of moments like this today, where we got 2 malefic planets, 2 very masculine planets in feminine signs, in water and earth signs, that's saying, hey, it's like, we're ready to push forward. And with Saturn and Pisces, shit, it can get real, it's very spiritual, This transit with Saturn through Pisces is a very spiritual transit. It's, testing our spirituality. It's testing our faith. That's what Saturn and Pisces is really all about, is a test of faith. And what those tests are based on is, it's like, let's think about the 12th house in Pisces. It's like addictions and, subconscious shit that, you're not aware of and you haven't faced yet, and you just bury and you just keep going on. It's like, we're fine. We're all so spiritual, this and that, Pisces, woo, it's like, well, with Saturn here, it's like, you want to reach a real spiritual, peak. So you got to be willing to take on the hard shit. And this is what Mars and Saturn really supporting each other today is giving us this boost to really lay these long-term foundations of what we're building, what we're manifesting, what we want to create, where we want to go, how we want to succeed, what we want to build in life. That's what Capricorn does. It wants to build. It wants to build a strong foundation. And we have to use this Mars in Capricorn to really do that in a powerful way. And Mars supporting Saturn like this, well, with them supporting each other like this isn't just some temporary thing here. This isn't just some temporary frequency coming in. This is not like a temporary vibration that's happening. This is a long-term vibration. When we're talking about Capricorn, we're talking about Saturn. The sun's in Capricorn. Pluto's at the last degree. This is long-term. Pluto's been here for so long. So it's like we've gone through so much rebuilding and metamorphosizing and transforming and destroying and rebuilding and having to start over, and learn the hard lessons. Especially in 2020 when Saturn, Pluto conjunct with Jupiter. It's like that was the real fall of Pluto. The dark night of the soul for Pluto. And now it's like we're getting out of it. We're starting to get out of it, We don't have that much time with Pluto and Capricorn left. So with this Mars and Saturn energy today, these two malefic planets, it's like we got to really make shit happen and put it in place because we're not going to get this kind of energy again for a while. So we want to use it now, use it to our best advantage. And that's what Capricorn does. Capricorn takes advantage. It sees an opportunity, it takes advantage. And with this transit here, there's going to be a lot of opportunities that pop up, and with Saturn and Pisces, it's going to present you opportunities to really make things happen. Like if you are really being honest and truthful about your reality. Are you being honest about the subconscious stuff that, you suppressed for so long that can just be this loop of patterns playing out over and over and over, which was what Pisces loves to do. They'll just sit there and replay the song over and over and over. And this song makes me feel this way. I just want to feel this way over and over and over again. I just want to eat this food or take this drug over and over and over again just to feel a certain way. And it's like this Mars-Saturn energy is helping us break through these patterns that we get stuck in the 12th house or with Neptune here in Pisces as well. It's like, you can really get stuck in the same loop over and over and over. It's like you're on a treadmill. It's like we don't want to run on a fucking treadmill. Like we want to be on physical ground. Mars in Capricorn wants to be on the earth. It wants to be on the actual, physical plane of this 3D world. Capricorn is the bridge between the 3D and the 4D, right? When we get to Pisces, maybe we'll get to the fifth dimension, but Capricorn, this is all about 3D. We're in 3D world right now. So Mars and Saturn also sextiling, and it is helping us bridge the 3D and the 4D and the 5D of this, this physical vibration, also connected with our intuition and our subconscious and our spirituality and our faith. It's like when you really believe something and you really can see the vision in your in the future, and you see that long-term vision and that long-term goal, that's how you manifest in this, and that is the 12th house. Like if you have 12th house placements or, healthy Pisces placements, it's like you can visualize the future, but visualizing doesn't really get you very far without the action, without following through, without making it happen, doing the work every day. And that's what this Mars in Capricorn is helping Saturn today. I would say Mars is helping Saturn. Saturn isn't the best in Pisces, So Mars wants to be where Saturn's at. And, I think, Mars and Pisces too, Pisces isn't great with Saturnian energy. Pisces doesn't want to be, bound up in a physical reality. It wants to be free and break beyond the realms of anything physical. So this is helping us bridge like our faith and the vision that we have. It's like, I see this future. I have this big vision that I want to achieve and what I want to become. And it's like Mars is like, yep, well, this is how we're going to do it. So there's definitely some insights, if you're willing to take action that are going to come through in a very powerful way, and it's long term. Speaking of long term, it's like also today, and I love this because it's one of my favorite monthly transits, and it's not a long term thing. It's a very short term thing. And I love people who also have this placement. Some of my favorite people have a Moon Venus conjunction. I love it. I love the Moon and Venus together. Today is such a positive, optimistic, powerful day, with the Moon and Sag making this badass conjunction with Venus. It's like, not only are we ready to get shit done and take our vision and make it physical and make it real, like we're also feeling this deep relationship between love and truth, right? So whenever we get to this place, on an emotional level, this is whenever we start to break free, from the muck, right? Like the Moon Venus conjunction, it happens once a month. So it's like, this is when we start to break free from the muck. We get a moment of like, just that love current is so strong, and it's like, there's definitely this sense of like freedom coming in today that we haven't felt in a minute. Mercury's starting to move. Jupiter's still not out of it, the 5th degree, but it's like today it's coming in. And also at the same time, the Moon conjuncting Antares with Venus. It's like, I think this plays into what this Mars-Saturn thing is too. It's like we want to look at it as a whole and not compartmentalize these, placements or transits or however you want to look at it. It's like as a whole, it's like, yeah, we're acting and making our vision become more physical, but at the same time, it's like we're getting this powerful, like positive, optimistic love vibration coming through. But Antares is like, coming in as well as saying, hey, it's like, we're going to execute this plan. Like, we're making a plan and we're going to execute it in a powerful way. And we got to be strategic about it. And we got to prepare for whatever battles are to come here. Because with North Node and Aries, it's like it's a constant battle. It's a constant battle. And we have to, and it's really battling with ourselves. That's what Aries is. It's like, sure, Mars rules war, Aries rules war, the god of war. It's like, but really the battle's within us. So it is having this plan that we want to execute and be very methodical about it. Antares is all about having a plan that is going to execute in a big, powerful way. Sagittarius does things only big, right? Sagittarius only does shit in the biggest way. So Mercury, 24 degrees now, it's like, this is the degree where it squared Neptune before it went retrograde. So we're starting to get more clear on things that were so like just foggy and we just could not retain or make solid over the past month. Yeah, it's been about a month now. So I'm starting to feel it for sure. I know a lot of the things that like we've been trying to implement and execute and make happen and push forward, like they just weren't seeming to stick. Now it's like the information is starting to get much more clear. And this is the degree where Mercury squared Neptune for the first time. And it's been 3 times since Mercury squared Neptune, and tomorrow it's going to happen for the last time. We'll see until we get to Gemini season, just about. So, thank God. And things are starting to stick. I mean, I feel like today, looking at this is the day, like, sure, like, it's not necessarily, January 1st isn't necessarily the astrological new year, right? It has nothing to do with the sun or the movement of the planets at all. It's just the Gregorian calendar. It's the Saturnian New Year, if you really want to put it in those kinds of terms. Like, it's the Saturnian New Year. It's like, you know, got to pay our taxes. We got to, abide by a system, which is Capricorn. Like, we fall under an umbrella of a system, a matrix. No matter what, no matter how rich you are, how successful or powerful you are, there is a boundary in the third dimension, and we can't break free from it. Like, until we die, until we leave this body. So, and I use this reference, I think, on the weekend horoscope. It's like, I've climbed 13,000 feet a couple times. In that experience of doing that, it's like, that's what Capricorn is. Go climb. If you want to feel what Capricorn truly is about, go climb a mountain. Go climb 12,000, 13,000 feet. I think the highest peak in California is 14,000 or something. Mount Everest is 29, but I don't recommend doing that because you might not come back. A lot of people don't. But if you want to feel what Capricorn is all about, go climb a mountain. And you'll feel it. It's not about how hard it is physically. Honestly, that's what I took from it. It was more about the mental transmutation of how the physical experience reflects in your mind. That's what all the Hermetic principles and teachings are all about, and all the alchemical teachings are all about. It's like, what's happening in the physical realm is happening in our minds. So you apply the physical to the mind, and vice versa. What's happening in the cosmos is also happening down here. So it's like, you climb a mountain, it's like you start hiking, you're excited, it's like, yeah, cool, we're climbing a fucking mountain. And then you get so far, it's like, damn, like, we've been doing this for a while. And you look back, it's like, well, we can't really go back now. If we go back, then, man, that's going to be a real blow to the ego. It's like, we gave up. Like, we're not fucking giving up. Like, we're going to keep going. So, by the time you actually get to the top, it's like, shit, I can't go any further. That's as far as you can get. That's Capricorn. That's Saturn. That's the realm. And that's as far as we can go. It's as far as we can see. We can look out into the night sky and we can see Saturn. We can't see Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto with the naked eye. We need a telescope. We have to go within. We need a tool to see beyond the physical world. So it's like, like, today is definitely one of these days where it's starting to kick in. Like, if you want to use the Gregorian New Year as an example, or as the landmark, so to say, it's like, this is the day where it's all starting to kick in. We came into the 1st of January with Mercury and Jupiter going direct. That's all great, but we're not feeling that gravity move yet. Today's the day where the gravity is starting to finally move. And Mercury will retrograde here in about 3 months, but we have a good 5-6 months. About 5 months before, we start seeing, the outer planets go retrograde again. So Uranus is pretty much stopping at this point, and it'll go direct on the 26th, and that's fucking exciting. Then we'll be full speed ahead for a good minute. So this is the day where shit is really starting to kick into gear, and we're starting to feel it on a deep level. And it's a lot of things that we've been working so hard on, whether it's just personal, like I've been working on myself, or like I have a plan that I've been trying to execute. Capricorn, it's all about business. Capricorn doesn't want to sit there and talk about feelings. We want to get down to business. The opposite of Capricorn is Cancer. So you put 2 and 2 together. Like, we're ready to get down to do the nitty gritty. So this is really gearing us up for battle. As we come into Pluto, Capricorn, North Node, Chiron conjunction, it's like full speed ahead. And today is the day where we're finally getting a real dose of optimism, of really laying the plan and the foundation. It's like, we want to be taking advantage of these transits this week to really lay a solid foundation here. It's like, we want to, it doesn't mean, hey, I'm going to go to the gym and do this whole thing again, new year, new me vibe. It's like, no, it's like, you've already been working on things. We've already been building things. It's like we don't want to start new things. This isn't about starting new things. Like, yeah, we have a new moon coming up in Capricorn, but, it's a new cycle, but it's not necessarily about like, I'm going to start like a new project. It's like, no, like we've been working on things for a while. And, with Saturn and Pisces, things can get a little scattered, and this Capricorn energy supporting Saturn, it's like, it's really helping us like take all that scattered energy and focus it and streamline it, in a very productive way. And we want to take advantage of that, make a plan, make a foundation, execute it. And also with this moon, Venus today in Sag, it's like, enjoy that shit. Enjoy actually doing the work. And I'll say, I was watching a podcast the other day, and he was talking about some part in your brain that, when you do things that you don't want to do, that part of your brain grows. I forgot what it was called, some crazy neurological term that I don't necessarily understand, but it's like, we can do difficult things that we do actually enjoy, but that part of the brain doesn't necessarily grow because we already enjoy it. It's like, this is a moment where we want to say, I'm going to do the things that I really don't want to do because it's going to benefit me and help me grow in the long run. And that's what Capricorn is all about. And today it's kicking into gear, and we want to take advantage of that and not let this time pass us by. Because that's the problem. It's like, I'll do it tomorrow. With Saturn and Pisces, it's so easy, especially with Neptune. It's like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll just sit here and just feel good. It's like, sure. But what really actually feels good is executing, making things happen, having a plan. And even if it's just small wins, it's not about winning big. Capricorn doesn't just throw a Hail Mary and then bam, touchdown, we won. It's like small wins, day to day, and setting yourself up for small wins, because those small wins is what helps you get the big win in the long run. So we want to take advantage of this, not let it pass us by, and enjoy doing it at the same time. I love Moon Venus days. So a Moon Venus day with also a Mars Saturn day on a Monday, take advantage of that. We don't get much positive momentum like this. So, and we got a couple days of Mars and Saturn coming together like this. So this whole week is going to be fucking baller. So anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a lovely Monday. Oh, also, somebody asked a question on the weekend horoscope, and I want to answer it because it was a good question. Let me read it real quick. Okay. Woke One's Revolution. I don't know your real name, and I'm sorry. Woke One's Revolution asked, I have a question about the solar eclipse. It sounded negative with your talk with Natalie, which is not negative. It's just very intense, and it's hard. I mean, we're in wartime, right? So that the last eclipse, it's not even, you can't really isolate, in my opinion. This is just my opinion, channeling the astrology. It's like, eclipses come in cycle in every 6 months, right? We have sets of eclipses. So the eclipse we had in October, this is the next set of that, right? So what happened during that first eclipse? I mean, I don't want to get into the details, but I don't know what happened in your personal life, but I know what happened in the world. And whatever's happening in the world, and this is how we really use the astrology. This is where the astrology can be really effective, is when you're applying what's, at least in the mundane evolutionary terms, right? It's like you apply what's happening in the outer world and apply that to what's happening within you and your own experience and your own journey. There's always a relationship there, because at the end of the day, we're all tapped into the same source. So you got to think about that last eclipse in October. Like, that's when the whole fucking Israel thing happened. I don't really want to talk about that right now, but that's what happened. So you got to apply that to what's the next one's going to be. And that eclipse, if you go look at the path of the eclipses, you can Google it. You look at the path of the eclipses, and it's like where they were the most visible was right through Texas, right through the border, you know. So it's not that they're negative, you know. I mean, sure, it's on, if you put it on a polarity spectrum, yeah, that's a negative occurrence. That was very bad. But if you look at eclipses, to me, like when I analyze eclipses, it's like there's always very dramatic shifts and extreme change every time through the entire time that nodes are in one sign. And by the time we get to the last eclipse of a sign, then you see the results of that karmic loop playing out. And we can go back and look to 2005, the last time the North Node was in Aries. It's like we were going through the same shit. It's very similar. And I'm using a broad perspective here because I'm not applying this to myself, and I don't know you personally or your experience or your chart. But it is like, I mean, look, we remember in 2005, like there was really, really intense shit happening in the Middle East as well. So, I mean, it's a karmic loop. Like if you follow the nodes and you know, look at every time, 1967, North Node in Aries with Saturn. Vietnam, you know, it's like North Node in Aries is a battle. It's a war all the time. And I think Chiron was also there. Maybe it was in Pisces. I'd have to look at the chart again. Especially with Chiron there. It's like, fuck, like it's not, this isn't any, these aren't easy eclipses. Eclipses aren't easy anyway. And you said you have a 19-degree Aries rising. So I'm a 14-degree Aries sun. So this eclipse is happening exactly on my sun. And I know what happened in 2005 for me personally. I will say, I'll just say this right now. That eclipse that happened in 2005, and when the North Node and my sun and my chart came together, I am here because of that moment. That's when my journey beyond, you know, my entire journey of just beyond being just a being in a soul and a body and being a meat sack. It's like my experience of like actually being out in the world, doing things, making things happen, you know, manifesting things. Like that journey began at that moment, you know. And I would assume if your ascendant is 19 degrees of Aries, the North Node's probably going to go into your 12th house. And so the North Node's in my 12th house right now. I'm a Taurus rising. I was born with the Sun, Venus, Mercury in the 12th. So the North Node's still in my 12th house. And this is you fully committing to the spiritual path. Like when you're having a North Node 12th house transit, it's like fully surrendering to the divine, to the spiritual. And all the karmic events that are going to play out are going to play out. And you have to let it happen. And at the same time, it's like it's beyond your control. If you have 12th house planets, it's like you feel your purpose and your destiny in life, but at the same time, like everything is out of your control. You know, you do the work in the physical world, but where that takes you it always feels and seems like it's something else directing that and driving that. And you call it God or spirit or an oracle or I don't know, your own will, which I'm not going to say what I believe, but you know, that's what the 12th house really is actually surrendering. And that North Node in the 12th house is surrendering to the divine, and really the karmic test that comes through that is really going to force you and bring you into karmic situations that test that and test that faith. We talked about that at the beginning of this video with Saturn and Pisces. So yeah, it doesn't mean negative. You know, me and Natalie were talking. It's like, oh, you know, we get into crazy shit going on. You know, if you know her and know her work, you know what she does. So it's like taking on difficult shit. You want to get to it on a personal level. It's like we're all having our own experience, and it's all different in our charts. So I'm still going through the North Node in the 12th house. And by April and May, it's going to hit my sun and it's going to move into my 11th. So it's like, yeah, I remember what happened the last time. So think about 2005. If you're having the North Node cross your ascendant into your 12th. So it's a good time, because no matter what, even when this is the thing, you're going through a Saturn or Jupiter or North Node transit in your 12th. I haven't experienced Saturn in my 12th yet, which I will here in the next 5-6 years. But definitely Jupiter's still in my 12th right now, actually, too. So when you're having transits like that, it's like in the 12th, it's like, you got to learn how to surf. It's the best way I could, or like you're skiing and like you can't just like stop, it's like you got to learn how to like move with the tides, move with the friction, move with the obstacles, and what I was really trying to say at first was that whenever you're having these North Node transits, in my experience, and when I've looked at many other people's charts and readings, it's like, it always seems like everything is just going to fall apart and you just get to like the craziest place in your mind and you just want to check out. And then the moment you just have had enough and you want to check out is when all of a sudden the synchronicities start to align. And the next thing that's like, there it is. And you are able to keep moving forward because you got the message. And that's what the 12th house, to me, the 12th house experience is too. It's like those synchronicities really start aligning and showing themselves in reality. And it's like you keep getting the messages, and you keep trusting that and having faith in that, and you keep following that path. Like that is you getting to your soul's purpose, and it will always take you where you need to be. That's what I wanted to say with the North Node in the 12th, or any planets in your 12th or transits. It's like you always have to trust and have faith, because no matter what, it's gonna always get you to where you need to be. Whatever that's God or whatever it is for you, it's different for everyone. So anyway, I appreciate the question. So if you guys have any more questions, I can answer them in the next video. Leave it below. Find me on the Instagram. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't been here yet. Find me on Instagram. All the links are in the description below. The links to my Instagram. These horoscopes are on Spotify. If you rather listen on Spotify, my TikTok, if you want to book a reading, every link is in my bio down below. So reach out to me. I'd love to chat. I love being here, channeling the astrology with you guys and sharing it. It helps me understand it even more. Like, to be honest with you, I've been studying astrology since 2003. And I haven't had many people in my life where I've been able to share it with comfortably. Throughout the years, I've connected with people who, do, where it is in a good conversation. And it's not like a weird judgment. It definitely, back in the day, it was weird if you talked about astrology. Now it's not weird, which is fucking awesome. And I got to give a shout out to all the other people out in the world doing the spiritual work, opening the doors for it to be possible for people like me to even be comfortable being here, sharing it, because Mercury's still in Sag, Venus is in Sag still too. So it's like, the more you can share, the more you also learn, and vice versa. The more you learn, the more you can share. And I think that's what Sagittarius really like. That's one of the best things about the 9th house in Sag. It's like, the ability to share and learn and have that ping pong effect. It's like ping pong. So anyway, I'll see you guys on Tuesday, and have a lovely Monday, and fucking use this Mars supporting Saturn to really lay out that long-term foundation, because after this week, it's go time and there's no looking back, because we're getting up the mountain. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.